Welcome back to another guide. This time we're going to tackle BTTS. Again, it's another tricky market to get right. So I'm just going to jump in. I'm not really prepared for this. I'm just going to jump in and try and talk through the stats that I would think about when thinking about BTTS. So as always with the filters, and I'll just say again, if you've not used filters before, there's a video on YouTube that explains and launches filters, walks you through all of the UI and all the different things that you can do. So for this, I'm going to say that each team has played 10 games or more, and I can save that for both teams. Now for BTTS, I tend to put a little bit more weight on the away team. I want an away team that is capable of scoring. I mean, they need to score for BTTS to come in. It sounds obvious, but I think if the away team is slightly better, there's more of a chance. So I'm just going to add a few things here. Let's say that the away team has scored at least 1.15 goals per game on the road. And I'm not going to stop there with the away team because I'm going to look at the occurrence as well. So they've scored in, let's say, 65. And I guess what we can do is save it and then just check the results straight away and see how many games it's returning. One thing I'm going to add as well is the probability model, which is a detailed sort of data analysis that Odd Alerts does, and you can add it to filters. So each game where the probability model is enabled, it'll give a percentage for these outcomes. So BTTS is one of them, and let's set 62%. So we've got an away team so far that has scored in 65% or more of their away games. We've got a probability rating of 62. For the home team, let's add a rule. And I said I favour the away team, so that means we want a home team that isn't the worst team in the world, but they can concede. So let's look at the goals conceded. Where is it? Here we go. So goals conceded overall. Now let's go home. Let's say they've conceded in 60% of games. And I'm just going to save that as BTTS test because I don't know what it's going to return. So we will check the fixtures. And the good thing about filters is that it's pretty quick. You can just go and find your filter, use it, and we've got 2 games, so that's quite promising because you don't want too many games. And you can see that I've already got an alert set for this game. I think this one popped up in a first half filter that I've actually just made another video for. And then the other one is in Iceland. So let's look at tomorrow. So there's more games. It's not just today. Keep going forward. I'm quite happy with this. I mean, it's already really narrow. You can see that we don't actually get any fixtures for Thursday. So let's go back to today. And yeah, this is what filters are for me. You've got all the tracking, which I do use for certain filters. But for something like this, where you know you're going to get a few games each day, maybe 10, 15 games max on a Saturday and Sunday. Saying that, it's a Sunday today when I'm recording this, and 2 games is pretty decent. What if we check it yesterday? So this way we'll actually see the results from yesterday. So a lot of Australian games, which, different opinions on the Australian leagues, can be amazing one week and then next week absolutely terrible. So if we're looking at BTTS, let's look at the odds here. And we can check the peak BTTS odds. So it didn't appear for these first games. Didn't come in that game. Didn't appear in that game. Yeah, BTTS, it's not always available, is it? So here it got to 1.62. Here it got to 9 and landed. Got to 5 and landed here. A lot of Australian games. Got to 2.20 here. 2.75 here and landed. 2.63 and landed. Wasn't available. A couple of 0-0s there. And then the last 3 games finished with BTTS. So this is not bad. I mean, those leagues you're looking at Australia there. There's a lot of Australia and New Zealand. Malaysia, they might be the top couple of teams they played yesterday, so he might not have taken that game anyway. And then Iceland is pretty good for goals and BTTS. So if the market's available, you can see here. I'm just going to see if it did become available and there's an issue there. No, it wasn't. Okay, so let's look at today's games again. So there's already a few that have finished today. These didn't get pulled in before. So today there has been 5 games and 4 have seen BTTS, and 3 were bettable and 2 of those won. So if you'd have set alerts, you would have actually made a little bit of profit there, because that peaked at 3.25. It was 0-0 at half time, and that's sort of what I used to do with BTTS anyway. In the English under-23 league, the market isn't there pre-match, but BTTS does happen quite a bit in that league, so it's a very good reason to set the alerts, because it just simply isn't available pre-match. So it's not that it's valuable or not, it's just not there. And it becomes available after about 15-20 minutes, I think. So let's take a look at this game and try and work out why it's picked it. If we go to the value tab, this is getting underway soon, I think. The live stats were there. You can see that the BTTS rating is 66%. I think we set 62, didn't we? So let's look at the stats here. Overall stats first. So the away team, as we tried to favour the away team, they've scored 1.92 and they've scored 1.4 away from home. But because of what we set, see, this is why you should always look at the occurrences and not just the averages. I say this to so many people, because you might look at that and think, 1.4, that's not that good, that is it? But they've scored in every single away game. So it's always worth checking, and it's certainly always worth putting onto your filter, even as a backup. So they've conceded as well in every single game. So BTTS, I imagine, has landed in every single away game. Yes, it has. And the odds available at the moment, well, they're not there, so I'm going to set an alert for that. And hopefully that will appear after 15-20 minutes. But I will also add this game to my favourites to monitor it in play, because it's an interesting game, and I will probably share this with the Telegram group now and tell them how I found it and share the video as well. So yeah, that is BTTS. Let me know, be it on YouTube or Twitter, what key stats you think I was missing there. As you can see though, with the stats that we picked, it's not returned too many games, so sometimes you don't have to really zone in that much. And I'll just have a look at any other stats that I think I might have missed. I mean, obviously you've got BTTS percentage as an actual stat, so if you wanted to pick an away team that has seen BTTS, you've got all these here, so it's quite a wide range: BTTS, BTTS and over 2.5, BTTS or over 2.5, BTTS in the second half. And this is just if you're looking for different kind of markets or different kind of games or teams. As I said before, and in other guide videos, you might be looking at home teams for BTTS or just certain teams for these filters. There's a lot of rules that you can pick here. There's many rules, but just my advice, like you've seen here, is just to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Go to the fixture feed, load it up, see what it returns, check out the games, and if you feel that something isn't quite right, then come back and tweak it. A good way to do that is to do what we've just done and look at the stats. And if you see a team and you think, oh, they've conceded they conceded only 0.8 goals per game, then that's the stat that you can bump up. So yeah, I'll track this and see how it goes. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another.